There was a ton of hoopla and excitement yesterday when they unveiled some specific improvements to the email functionality in the platform. So let's go ahead and dive into specifically what happened yesterday and Kajabi's announcement. So what was new with the Kajabi email? The very first thing is there is a new visual editor when you're creating your emails, although it is only right now for your email broadcasts. One of the things that's important to know is now when you click New Email Campaign, you have always had the option for email broadcast and email sequence. For right now, Kajabi is only offering the visual email editor for broadcasts. Now, the reason for that is traditionally in marketing for email sequences, those are things such as you have a webinar and you have a pre-webinar sequence where you're encouraging people to register, and then you have a post-webinar sequence where you're encouraging people who've attended the webinar to go to your sales page and buy. Broadcasts are one-off. Typically, your email sequences have always been the plain text. Again, you want to get right to the point. You don't want lots of distractions. You want people to take actions so the emails are simpler. So to go along with that visual editor, so the visual editor allows you to add images, add links, add even countdown timers. I'm going to get to that as well. Allows you to do all that and build your emails. But to help you, they've also created, I believe it's about 18 different templates to give you a starting point that you can then customize yourself. So this is now, here are some simple text templates. Actually, this is new because I don't recall this was in here yesterday or the day before. Here is one where you would showcase the product. Here is announcing an event, and there you can see the countdown timer. Here is a template for a newsletter style, very similar maybe to the Pat Flynn style. Here's one if you're promoting your blog post, you would simply have a link, an image and a link that would send them to your blog post, an educational one. And then now here are these beautiful templates. And I'm, hey, you can't dispute the fact that these are really nice. Now, this one is hugely important, and that is a subject line validation. Because remember, I mentioned that there are a lot of things that Kajabi can do to help improve the deliverability, but a lot of the decisions and the impact of whether or not your emails get into your subscribers' inbox is you and what you're doing. So subject line validation is hugely important because if you're typing everything in all caps and you're using lots of punctuation and exclamation points, those are triggers for most of the spam filters, especially in email clients like Gmail. Those are triggers that tell it this is a potentially spammy email. So Kajabi now has this subject line validation where you can type out your subject line and it's going to pop up and give you some recommendations such as don't use all caps, don't use excessive punctuation, etc. So let's just grab STEM, for example. I have my own naming conventions for my email broadcasts. This is my demo account, so we've only got 8 subscribers in here. So I'm going to say save and continue. And first, this is the next thing, my subject line validation. So if I said, open this now, exclamation points, you can see this little light bulb popped up and says, it suggests capitalizing less than 50% of the letters and try not to use so many punctuation. Video links in email, you're going to be able to upload an image. It's going to have a little play button superimposed, and you're going to be able to link to a video where you want to send somebody to actually watch the video. And then now we click Launch the Email Editor. And what you're going to see is that this is very similar to the new Pages functionality. You have sections. Here is our background image. Here is our video. And like I said, what they do with the video is you would select an image, and there is a play button that's automatically overlaid that image. And notice here, play button and overlay are not supported on Microsoft Outlook 2000 to 2016. So that's really important to keep in mind. Now, I did see some statistics that says less than 9% of people actually use Outlook, but there are people who are still on Outlook. Now, this is really huge for those of you that are doing some aspect of scarcity in your marketing or countdowns to upcoming events. There is now going to be a dynamic countdown timer, which is something that's going to be tied to an event that you create in Kajabi, and then you can embed that countdown timer, and it's dynamically going to be counting down within the email. So first of all, I'm going to create an event in here. So let's just pretend I'm going to have a webinar, and my webinar is going to be next Tuesday at 1 p.m. and it's also going to use Pacific time. So you can see right there, Pacific time. And I save that event. And of course, in my event actions, I can create my emails for when people register. I can create my automations. But let's just say if I go to my email campaigns now and I do a new email campaign. And so the broadcasts would tend to be the ones that, I would send out. Oh, and here we go. Got my cute little notification here, right? So let's just say this is my webinar announcement. And all 8 people are going to get it. All 8 people are pretty much me. Or masterclass, whatever. So when I launch my email editor, you see right here, it says, over here in the left in the sidebar, it says countdown. Click here to select my event. I will select my, there we go. And so then this is the countdown timer, and that will show up in the emails that people get. Another very important element, and again, one I kind of assumed everybody had, was a more clean and clear metrics dashboard, such as how many emails were sent, what percent of them were actually delivered to the recipient, how many bounced, how many then later, how many people clicked on it, how many people opened it, all of those kinds of statistics. So this is the email results. So it's going to show you how many emails were sent, how many were delivered, the percentage that was open. Then there's the percentage of people who clicked links in the email. And this is super important, your bounces and your unsubscribes. But here also in your drop down, you're going to see, you can see all recipients who received the email, who opened it, who clicked it, whose email address bounced, who unsubscribed and dropped. Now, another improvement that they announced was Lightning broadcasts, which means it's a new way that Kajabi itself is sending out the emails. And they were sending them out in kind of a queue type of format. So if somebody else had just sent 5,000 or 100,000 emails prior to you, your emails might have been delivered more slowly. Now they're doing a different, I don't know this technical issue, but technically they're delivering them much faster. Now, more importantly, is this is one of those things that's going to improve and help you with your deliverability in testing, is the ability to have verified custom domains. So that means instead of sending it out from, in my case, Deanna at kajabimail.net, it will actually use my domain. So people that are used to getting emails from me from my domain will receive those emails as well.